Hello and welcome to Easy Swiss German. Here you can learn Swiss German, grammar, vocabulary, listening exercises. Welcome. I am Mel. For everybody who's new, I'm your High German and Swiss German teacher. Today we're going to look at how you can learn Swiss German. I made this video several times, a few times, but now in English. So yay. I have 8 tips for you how to learn Swiss German. First and foremost, you need a solid foundation in High German, Hochdeutsch, before you can start learning Swiss German. High German is super profitable if you live in Switzerland, because even though people speak Swiss German, High German is in every written document. The news are in High German, and almost everybody in Switzerland understands High German. Plus, High German has much stricter rules in grammar, so it's easier to learn, I think. And what was the other? Oh yeah, there's a lot of material out there for High German. So High German is the first base to cover. Plus, Swiss German somewhat builds off of High German. So if you understand High German, you probably have an easier time understanding Swiss German than straight learning Swiss German. It's possible. People have learned Swiss German straight without High German. I and almost all of my colleagues that I ever talk to say, no, learn your High German first. It makes your life easier. I think you should learn your High German till an A2, and then you can start looking at Swiss German, like some of the videos, or look at the grammar and start to listen to the radio, start to listen to my podcast to have some Swiss German input. But keep on learning High German till B1 if you can, and then you can dive in learning all the Swiss German, because you have a solid, strong foundation of B1 in High German. Then, as I mentioned already, listen to Swiss German often. Even if you have no other contact with Swiss German, then me, listen to Swiss German as often as possible. There is the podcast you can listen to. There is the YouTube video. Then there is the radio stations. So of your local, Energy, Radio Energy, Basel, Zürich, Bern, all of them are speaking dialect in between songs. And if you're just listening to it, you get used to the rhythm. Plus, you don't want to learn how to speak Swiss German right away. You want to learn how to understand it. So you need to have lots of input of Swiss German. If you're more learning with music, then Mani Matto, Stefanie Heinzmann, Züri West, Ochsner, Gölä, Plüsch, Bligg. There is artists out there that produce in Swiss German music. So go check it out. Have fun. Number 3, watch Swiss German movies and TV shows. Okay, there isn't that many of them, but there are. I highly recommend SRF has what is it? Bitte is partly High German and partly Swiss German, or Einstein. It's a science thing. They also speak partly Swiss German, partly High German, and they very often have subtitles. So that's super practical. Then movies, if you're movies more, there are, for example, Die Göttliche Ordnung. Huge fan. They speak Swiss German, and you can have the High German, I think even the English subtitles. What is another? Die Herbstzeitlosen. Great movies. I'm gonna write everything in the description below. Then number 4, be mindful of the dialects. So there is 17 of the 26 cantons are speaking Swiss German, and everybody speaks a slightly different dialect. Yay, it's a thing. So, and then people will tell you, there are so many different dialects, it doesn't make sense to learn just one of them. But I will tell you, and you believe me, right? I'm your Swiss German teacher. Believe me, they are not that different from each other. So especially if you're Zurich, Basel, and Lucerne German, Yes, they are different from each other, but not fundamentally, not like Walliserdeutsch. Walliserdeutsch is like a different kind of conversation, and I have a blog post about it. Also link it. There is a link in that blog post where you can listen to Walliserdeutsch. It's hilarious. But other than that, and Bern German is also very special. But like other than that, they are, maybe it's an sounds more like an a or sounds more like an but other than that, they're not fundamentally different from each other. And if you learn one dialect, that still brings you more advantages than learning none of them. So yes, there's different dialects. It helps if you're a little bit mindful, and if you can find materials in your dialect, especially when you're from Zurich, you want the lottery. But if you're like living in like, I don't even know, St. Gölä, then you probably have a harder time finding materials in your area. So, but then try to find someone who speaks Basel German or Zurich German and go from there. Okay. It's like, yes, the dialects are important, but at the same time, they're not so different from each other. People don't like that. People are very patriotic to their own content, but they're not so different. Number 5, start with the basics. I have another video for that, or you go and check out the can I say it? The article. Stuff like grüezi, ade, bitte, merci, excuse, and gute, prost, and a spitz, a little bit. Like those words you probably already know, just use them in your daily life. And then a bit more like whole sentences would be ich heiß Mel, ich komme aus der Schweiz, ich komme aus Russland, komme aus der USA. Ich hätte gerne einen Kaffee, ich hätte gerne einen Burger, einen Döner. Die Rechnung bitte. Ich suche Jockey, ich suche das Tram. Ich warte auf meinen Mann, ich warte auf meine Frau, ich warte auf meinen Kollegen, meine Kollegin, etc. Just use those words in your daily life if you can, and just have some fun with it. Speak High German and then like one Swiss German word, or even English and then one Swiss German word. People find it hilarious. Plus, it gives you good practice. Take a Swiss German class, number 6. For example, in Migros Clubschule or Sprachschule Schneider are offering Swiss German school lessons, or you buy the workbook from me together with my podcast, where you get transcripts and translations and exercises and solutions. You get like everything you need. But take a Swiss German class. They exist. Number 7, take private lessons. You can book private lessons with me if you want to on easyswissgerman.co, or go on iTalk. You find teachers there. There is private teachers out there for Swiss German. You have to dig a little bit, but they exist, and it might be helpful if you have the budget and you need like a bit more flexibility. Then that's a great option. And number 8 and last one, put yourself out there and practice Swiss German. As I said, use your words, the one word you know, or if you know whole sentences, use it, speak it, listen. Like if you're sitting in the tram and you have like people behind you speaking Swiss German, listen to them. You like try to understand what they're talking about, depending on your niveau. You might understand like one word, you might understand a few sentences, you might understand the whole conversation. Like, just go out there and have fun with it. Swiss German isn't a language that needs to be taken very seriously, because like we don't do either. So have fun with it. Found like the little words that have funny to you. What was the other one? Gigampfi. That was the other one. I heard that lately, and it means a swing, for children, where they sit on it and then they swing back and forth. A gigampfi. Isn't that a funny word? It's hilarious. No other language produces words like that. It's so funny. So yeah, have fun too, and good luck learning Swiss German. If you made it till here, consider subscribing and giving the video a like if it helped you. And I'm looking forward to meet you again. See you soon. Bye. Tschüss. Ciao. Ciao. Ciao.